I'm Captain Mark Henderson with Taco Marine and the Liquid Fire Fishing Team. We're here today. We'll make some new taco videos, so stay tuned.
And I'm Captain Avila with Hammertime Sportfishing, here with Mark. We're going to do some installation on this classic Mako here. We're going to have a great day.
Hey, so what we're going to do is get started on this classic Mako, and we're going to replace the rub rail first today. And so we're going to go through the whole day of exciting things, and we're going to give a little bit of information on the Taco rub rail kit. This kit's got everything you need for your do-it-yourself rub rail replacement. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to lay the components out and show you what all is included. We picked this kit with the Taco rub rail replacement because it's an exact match for this classic Mako. It has everything that you need, from the continuous coil, the insert, stainless steel screws, end caps, and a complete instruction manual. So let's get started. And Danny and I have found a place out here in the parking lot that we can leave this rub rail for at least 1 hour in direct sunlight. It'll warm it up, make it pliable and easy to install. So we're going to go ahead and lay this out and get ready to take the old rub rail off. The first thing we want to do is make sure that the continuous coil is warm. So pull it out of the box, and one of two things. You can put it in a vat of hot water, or if it's warm enough outside, lay it completely out and let it warm up so it's pliable and easy to use. Hey, while you're waiting for your rub rail to warm up in the sun, take advantage of the time. Take the old rub rail off. Doesn't take much tools, just a screwdriver
And a drill.
And so let's get started. Let's get this old rub rail off and get ready for the new. The first thing you need to do when removing the old rub rail is start with the insert. This one has shrunk a little bit, so it makes it easy to actually get a screwdriver in and pry this piece out. While I'm doing this, Danny's gonna come behind with the cordless drill and remove the screw so we can take this old rub rail off. So you can see we've removed the rub rail. This boat's had a couple of different rub rails in its life. As you can see, over the last 2 years, it's collected quite a bit of grit and grime. Pretty dirty, so get yourself some warm water, some soap, a little Windex, clean it up, prep it, get it ready for the new rub rail. As you can see, this boat's had a couple of different rub rails in its life. This boat's about 36 years old. So what you want to make sure that you do with the new rub rail is avoid all of these screw holes in here. You want to have new fiberglass that the screws are going into. So what we'll do in this particular boat is take some masking tape and run it up above where the rub rail is so that we can mark exactly where the new screw holes will go and the new screws. So let's get started. We'll show you how to do it. We're going to find the center line of the rub rail, the center line of the boat, and we're going to come around and we're going to show you how to mark it with a pencil. Normally, when running the rub rail, you want these screw holes about 6 to 7 inches apart. As you can see on this boat, we've got quite a few holes and a little bit of damage right here. So we're going to have to get creative in these areas as to where to put the rub rail. So I'm going to mark where the least intrusive area is. And so right up here on the masking tape. That way when the rub rail's up, you've got a point of reference as to where you can screw into without hitting an existing hole. You definitely do not want your screw to hit one of these pieces of fiberglass right here that has already an opening. You're going to have to find the center point of the new rub rail. This has been sitting out for over an hour. It's got nice and soft, pliable, easy to use. So what we're going to do is the easiest way to do this is match end to end. So Danny and I are going to bring these two ends together and find the center point. Then we're going to get to installing it on the boat. Okay, we found our center point in our rub rail. Now we found it on the bow of the boat. Real important at this point, make sure that these two match up. And this rub rail has a flange underneath that pushes up against the cap to designate its location and how it goes on this boat. So we'll find the center points, making sure that everything is lined up well. And then we're going to anchor off the rub rail with a couple of screws right here on the sides of the center point. One really neat trick that I found over the years when installing rub rail is that sometimes the screw heads have a little bit of difficulty in clearance. So we've got a couple of magic markers or a couple of dowel rods, put them right in here. It opens it up a little bit so that the screw head fits in much easier when applying. So what we're going to do at this point, Danny and I are going to put the rub rail up here, anchor 2 spots, and then stretch the rub rail around the boat. We've anchored the rub rail up front in a couple of different spots on either side. So now the next step is to pull the rub rail around the boat and stretch it. We've checked that, it's got plenty of rub rail all the way around to the transom. So this is where it's good to have a couple of hands and help you with this. But Danny and I are going to pull this up to make sure that the profile's working underneath where the cap is. And we can start drilling some holes and getting some rub rail installed real quick here. As we go through securing the rub rail, this is the benefit of making your mark on the masking tape. You get a few screws set down through each other about 3 or 4 feet apart, and then you can see exactly where to make your screw holes and insert your screws. Okay, we've installed the rub rail. It's come around the transom. It's time to cut off the excess piece. This is measured perfectly. So all we're going to do right now, you can do it with a hacksaw, some sort of a sharp fillet knife, and we're going to do it with the hacksaw real quick when we get this excess piece off right here. All right, so very little waste. She's looking good. Time to put the insert in. We've done the same thing with the insert that we did with the rub rail. We found the center point by matching end to end. It's a real simple process at this point. All you do is pinch it, put it in the groove. Right up here in the rub rail, you pinch it and push it in. As we go through, one of the easiest ways is to pinch it and follow it through with your thumbs. Takes a little time, but it's easy. And if you got somebody doing the other side, you'll be finished in no time. One thing you want to make sure that you have on hand when you're mounting the insert into the rub rail is a heat gun or a hair dryer. That way it makes it pliable and makes it much, much easier to install. Now that we've come around the transom, we got to a place to where we want to trim off the insert. So it's pretty simple. Danny's got a razor knife, and he's going to trim it off flush with the rub rail. So before we install the end cap, I want to show you a trick to keep the insert from shrinking. A lot of times this smaller piece will shrink and get shorter through the rub rail. So what we're going to do is take a small stainless steel screw, and I'm going to show you how to put a hole right through the back side of this insert where you'll never see it and it'll keep from shrinking. We're going to drill a pilot hole and put a small stainless steel set screw to keep it from shrinking. It'll be covered by the end cap. We're almost finished with the project. Last step is to put on the end cap. It's pretty simple. All we're doing is putting it over the rub rail, taking a marker, marking the holes, and the only thing left is to drill a pilot hole and insert the screws. finished with the project. One last step you want to make sure that you do is get yourself some mildew-resistant silicone. And underneath the rub rail, there's going to be a gap. You don't want water to penetrate that. Flush up, push out the rub rail, get into under your cap. So what we're going to do is Danny's going to take this, run it along the side, and we'll be ready to roll. Everyone, we finished up this project in just a few hours, right here in the garage here at Taco Marine. Danny and I were able to transform the look of this classic Mako just by the simple replacement of the rub rail. You can do it in your own driveway, your own backyard, or your own garage. So until next time, I'm Captain Mark Henderson with Taco Marine and the Liquid Fire Fishing Team. Good luck on the water, and we'll see you out there soon.